Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers finally fired Matt Canada. Does that mean they get a big win this week? Let's dive into my Week 12 NFL predictions. So we're going to start this video off with the Thanksgiving games, the first one of which is going to be the Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions in Ford Field in Detroit. Now, this game is going to be an interesting one between two teams that are vying to prove that they are relevant. The Packers still in the playoff picture. They are going to be needing a win here if they want to stay in that picture. The Lions vying to try to top the Eagles, who are looking a little suspect in their wins. It's possible, but also trying to clinch the NFC North. So, that being said, I do think the Lions are the better built team. It is in Detroit, which is now becoming a tougher place to play and play effectively. So I am taking the Lions to win this one in Detroit. Up next, we have the Washington Commanders going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And is this even a contest? Dallas is going to mop the floor with Washington, just like they have before and they have in the past. It is just going to be an absolute mopping of the floor. Cowboys are going to win big time. Up next, we have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. This is the Thursday nightcap on NBC. And we got ourselves a fun one here. This is going to be a very interesting game. Can the Seahawks stop the run and be able to keep the game close? If not, then the Niners should be able to get a free win. But the Niners are getting hot. They're right back where they started in this season, really looking great and very dangerous. So that being said, I am taking the Niners to win this one in Seattle. Alright, up next, we have the first ever Black Friday football game. This one between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. And this is going to be a fun one as the Jets do have a new starting quarterback. And Miami has struggled against teams at or above 500. But once again, this is Miami. They are really playing well. They did struggle, though, against the Raiders, which is a little off-putting, a little bit concerning. But I feel like they get a get-right game here in New York against the Jets. Up next, we start the Sunday slate of games. This one with the New Orleans Saints going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. This is going to be a critical game for both of these teams as they are both still in the hunt for the NFC South. But I feel like the Saints are just a better built team. Derek Carr has had the bye week to recover, and I really feel like the Saints are going to outplay the Desmond Ridder-led Falcons. So I am taking the Saints in this one. Alright, for this next game, I feel like I personally cannot do it justice. So let's have Henry Ginzer come in and just give you the prediction for this game. We'll bring him in right now. Someone talking about the Steelers? Pittsburgh Steelers? Super Bowl? Fire Canada! Let's go, baby! The Steelers firing Canada, going down to Cincinnati, and let's see, the Bengals, who do they got? They got no one. Joe Burrow, get out of here, man! You're gone, you're toast! The Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna win in Cincinnati! Let's go, Steelers! Alright, thank you very much for that one, Henry Ginzer. Got good feedback from him, and I think we'll keep him around for the future. Really seems to be a good hit with you guys. But let's go ahead and move on to the Jaguars taking on the Texans in Houston. This one going to be a big, heavy hitter for the Texans and the Jags. This is for the division lead. And let's just say, I think that with it being in Houston, these teams are going to match up equally well. The Jaguars are more spread about with their talent, but the Texans have more talent at key positions with Tank Dell and CJ Stroud. Not to mention Derek Stingley on the defense. You have a very potent couple of players on the Texans that I think will outduel the Jags. The Jags are more of a jack of all trades, master of none. The Texans are a master of their craft. And with it being in Houston, I am taking the Texans on this one. Up next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. This one going to be an interesting one as the Buccaneers are trying to buy into the playoff picture in the NFC South. The Colts, coming off of a bye week, we'll see how they can basically recover. They've been all right without Richardson, but there has been holes, significant holes. And that being said, I feel like Tampa Bay, Baker plays well when he's the underdog, and he is the underdog of the South right now. So I feel like he is going to do a very good job and will end up inevitably pulling this one out against the Colts in Indianapolis. Up next, we have the New England Patriots taking on the New York Giants in MetLife Stadium in New York, and this is going to be a slop fest here. But I am taking the Giants as it is in New York. I feel like the Giants will just have a better edge on the home field advantage against New England. Yeah, both these teams kind of suck, but also Tommy DeVito did look good last week. If he can keep that continuing, keep that roll going, the Giants can become a threat under Tommy DeVito. Up next, we have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Now, this one is a very big confidence builder for Will Levis, or at least it should be on paper. The Titans should very much crush the Panthers in every aspect. But, and there's a huge but, I think the Panthers are going to be hungry for a win. They are trying to avoid tanking for the Bears. They're going to try to screw the Bears up. So I think they're going to go everything and go all in on this game, and I think they do it. I think they pull a win off over the Titans. Up next, we have the Los Angeles Rams going to the desert to take on the Cardinals, and let's be real here. The Rams have been struggling. Arizona getting Kyler Murray back. I feel like with this one being in Arizona, the Rams will end up getting a win over the Cardinals will get a win over the Rams. Sorry about that. I am picking the Cardinals this week. I am going against my Rams. I just feel like the Cardinals are just going to be the better team on Sunday, especially with the Rams possibly not having Cooper Kupp as he was day-to-day in practice this week. So I'm not sure, but I think the Cardinals pull off the win. Up next, we have the Cleveland Browns going to Mile High to take on the Broncos. And let's be real here. The Browns don't have much of an offense. The Browns rely heavily on their defense. And I feel like the Broncos will be able to do just enough to keep their hot streak going to get the win over the Browns, because the Browns don't really have much of an offense to go off of, so I am taking the Broncos over the Browns. Up next, we have the Kansas City Chiefs going to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Now, this game, it's going to be closer than people think. Very much so. But I do have the Chiefs winning this one. I feel like the Chiefs are the better team. They should be able to steamroll the first half and then just kind of coast in the second half as they've done all year. Vegas will bite back, and they will fight back, but I do feel like the Chiefs do get the win on this one. Up next, we got another tough one for me to pick here. The Buffalo Bills, under a new offensive coordinator, going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The Eagles have been a very suspect 9-1 team to begin with, and I just feel like the Eagles do just enough to fall short. I feel like the Bills' offense is going to be feisty. They're going to come out hungry, wanting to win, and I feel like they do get the win over the Eagles this week. Up next, we have Sunday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens going to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, and as much as I hype this up, the Ravens are going to dominate. Yeah, the Ravens don't have Mark Andrews, but what do the Chargers have? They have been falling into a rut recently. This whole season, they will play games extremely close, but they will lose it at the end. They will not be able to do enough. And that is just how the Chargers have played all year. And I just feel like the Ravens are just a way better team on paper. They should absolutely manhandle the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. And last but not least for this video, we have the Chicago Bears going to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Vikings having a hard week last week against the Broncos. I feel like this is a get-right game for them in every facet. The Bears are going to be coming out hungry, but I feel like the Josh Dobbs-led Vikings will be able to do just enough to edge out the Bears. And especially with it being in Minneapolis, I have the Vikings pulling off the win here in this one. Well, that's about going to do it for me today. If you guys did like, don't forget to smash like and subscribe, as it does help me out a whole lot. It tells me that I'm making content that y'all enjoy. And with that, let me know in the comments your thoughts down below. And check out over here our power rankings for Week 12 so you can see what we think of each team going into Week 12. And with that, I will see you guys on Sunday for streams. Peace out and have a good one.